How do you usually spend your weekends? Well, my weekends start with a cup of tea. Then, as a homebody, I usually spend my free time on weekends cleaning the house, watching series, and cooking some new recipes. And I also spend quality time with my parent, like taking dinner with him and watching television. What did you do last weekend? Well, what did I do? Last weekend I went for a movie with my friends. We also had dinner at a restaurant. It was great fun. You know, I love hanging out with my friends as that's the only time we can see one another and spend a great time updating each other's lives. Do you like going to the cinema on weekends? Yes, I do. I said earlier, last weekend I went for a movie with my friends. You know, I like being with the crowd of moviegoers compared with watching it in the comfort of my room or doing the traditional one, which is buying or renting a DVD from a shop. Which is your favorite part of the weekend? Why? I would say that the whole weekend is my favorite. However, if I have to pick a preferable part from my weekends, it is certainly the morning, when I don't have to worry about waking up early and getting ready quickly to get to work. Then, of course, I also like an evening on a weekend is far more relaxing and fun. This is the time when I get outside to hang out with friends or take my family outside. Do you think your weekends are long enough? Why? Why not? Yes, I do. My weekends are long enough because I feel that I am getting enough time to spend with my family and finish some personal tasks. Of course, an extra weekend day would certainly be welcome by many people like me, but I don't see it happening in the near future. Is there anything new that you would like to do on weekends? Yes. One of my dreams is learning some new language on weekends. And I would like to do it whenever I get the opportunity, as I would like to go to Canada or French, so learning French would help me. What do other people in your hometown, or in your country, usually do on weekends? I'm not sure, and I don't exactly know how the people in my hometown make use of their free time on weekends, as I'm not living in my hometown for several years now. But I assume they spend time with family rather than other activities. Some people also go on picnics or perhaps do some exercise at the park or trips. Not only that, there are several entertainment facilities like an amusement park that can surely make their weekend more meaningful. When do you spend time with your family? As I mentioned before, I spend my weekend with my family by having dinner together. In addition, in my country, parents and children live under the same roof rather than live alone. I'm also live with my parents, and whenever I've spare time, I spend with them. In your country, do men and women usually do the same kind of things on weekends, or in their free time? I think it is dependent on the person. However, generally, men and women in my country usually do the same kind of things on the weekends, except for some rare occasions. For example, I guess some men play sports or they may probably do things to their own interest while women may just do housework or spend more time for their families. But both men and women like to go to catch a movie, or both the men and women go to a restaurant together to enjoy some nice meals during the weekends. What are you going to do next weekend? Well, I don't have next weekend plans yet, but actually I've been thinking about going to the restaurant to eat something special, go to the cinema or do some shopping on next weekend. I also have to do some exercise, I'm so out of shape now. You know, I might treat myself too, just to reward myself for staying up late preparing for this IELTS exam. Do you like working on weekends? To be frank, I don't think I do. I prefer to spend time with my family and friends on weekends. Although, some people have to be at work on weekends, there is no option for them to choose. Do you think employees should have to work on weekends? Well, employees are human. We all deserve to have some off-work time, so on the weekend they should be free from all tasks and relax their minds with the help of going outside. But it's not in the employee's hand. It entirely depends on the industry where you are working. If you take an example, manufacturing industry. They work on a shift basis, whereas retail industry or service industries choose. Do you feel that weekends now are more important to you than when you were a child? Yes, weekends now are more important to me than when I was a child. You know, there are no commitments in childhood like family time and no pre-planned activities for weekends. At present, we have specially postponed some occasions for weekends like weddings, birthday parties, friends and family get-together. So, it means, the main factor is that after 5 days of hard work, I really need some leisure time. Whereas, when I was a kid, I had plenty of time to play. Every day was almost the same. How the way people spend their weekends has changed than that of the last decade. The way people spend their weekends these days has significantly changed from that of the last decade. For example, a decade ago, many people would like to go to do some shopping on the weekends. But today, they spend their time watching some movies at home because of their too busy life schedules. What do you think our weekends will be like 10 years later? I think that after a decade from now, we will hardly get to enjoy our weekends because we will become too busy with our works and life to wish for a happy weekend. In fact, most of us would probably end up working during the weekends in order to meet the additional expenses of our life. Besides, whatever time we get during the weekend, we will probably spend it just to relax because of too much work during the weekdays. Spending more time on the virtual internet world at home, instead of going out, would probably become a very much fact of life. Should people be paid more money if they work on weekend? Paying people for working on weekends might not be a great idea, according to me, because I think it will compel people to do work on weekends for some extra money, giving them no time to improve on their other aspects. Do you think it is reasonable that employees be paid at a higher rate for working overtime? Paying more for people who work overtime is surely a very positive decision, according to me. The reason being they are working more and are taking time out of their personal lives for the company, and at the end of the day, this increased work is helping the company grow better. So, I think the employee must be given her share of reward. If you were asked to work on the weekend, do you think it would be reasonable to ask for extra pay? I don't think I would prefer working on weekends, even if it is for money. But, if I have to work on weekends, it will definitely be for money, and I think it will be very reasonable to ask for extra pay.